They concentrate too much on the enemy picks. The anti-mage pick is pretty good considering the amount of magical damage on the enemy team, but it is quite weak to just a potential alchemist pick. Simply because alchemist gives him all the physical damage they need to deal with the anti-mage, but they already have a lot of stuns to deal with him to begin with. I mean, honestly, comboing into that cold feet is not hard at all when you have so many ways to stun the alchemist, the anti-mage, especially with the Earthshaker. So they were not really relying on the alchemist being the last pick. Like, alchemist or TA would have really screwed them over. And see, now Evos is pausing themselves. It's just, yeah, they're not really concerned about this. Right. I wonder if they're going to go for some early game skanks with the chilling touch, take advantage of it in the early game. Take advantage of perhaps like even a dual offlane to some degree. Definitely going to go for a level 1 engagement or try to. It's just Alk is particularly a weak hero to be left alone because this is the thing that people always never consider, but just when you're creating space for an anti-mage or for an alchemist, say you're trying to create space by going for a smoke, and this is the risk reward that a lot of pro players once they get to the higher levels do start considering. So okay, this lich will not die, but they know there's a ward around here, except they don't know it's a sentry. Anyway, yep, there's the sentry, blocks it, beautiful. It takes the sentry away. That's actually really good positioning for a ward in general. I don't know why they're not trying to take it away. That's odd. Oh, Lich is coming back. Oh no, Lich thought he'd be cocky, but he's gonna lose his life here. Oh no, the Impale's already available. Misses the Lich entirely, the Phi Boy. It's like, Blyke, why? How'd you miss? And even went for Cold Feet, expecting that Impale to hit. Duhoy taking away all the possibility for a level 1 engagement by not skilling that chilling touch. A very cocky play, trusting in his teammate he was wrong to. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Avil being seizured in. Anti-mage even blinks in just to do a little bit of body blocking. Starts hitting a bit. Avil might go down. 1 last second fissure. Avil going the wrong way, trying to use the high ground to his advantage. Not against melee heroes. Solotich will get that final hit. That's first blood going the way of Lorem Ipsum. While the first blood in this top lane is completely prevented. And as well, they don't actually destroy the sentry. So Lich was cocky. It was right to be cocky. Wow. Now Facehugger. Solotich is going to follow him through. Oh yeah. So talk about this, the risk reward that I was mentioning just to finish that thought. You have an anti-mage who, say you go for a 4-man gank because you usually want to play that kind of play style. With the, oh, this is interesting. Okay. Anyway, but you want to play like, you know, 4-man gank with the anti-mage. The anti-mage can always blink away and most likely be safe unless you find him in a really difficult position. Whereas as long as the Alk is you know, farming and you find him with any sort of lineup, you can probably kill him. He doesn't have much way to really solve your damage. So there's a higher risk involved in leaving the Alk alone. And oh wow, Crybaby. Or sorry, BB is really destroying Facehugger. Anyway, they probably expected here Lorem Ipsum to be the Alk mid. I can only imagine, which is why they run the Omni. I want to say I don't think you would really change the lanes if you were expecting... Like, Puck against Alk is not particularly the best matchup, whereas Omni Knight against Alk is pretty good because of his high armor and of his constant healing. However, he's pretty good against Necrophos as well. BB is destroying him. Like I said earlier, Omni is a really good hero in lane. Like, a fantastic hero in lane. Because his high armor, he has an actual healing mechanism, the Degenor to slow you, which is not even a slow that costs mana. In the early game, that is so very valuable. Later, Degenor is absolute crap, you don't care about it whatsoever. Well, I guess a bit. But in the early game, when all you have to do is follow someone and that slows them, that's fantastic for your presence. It's because of the kill potential that you present. Okay, TNT hit by the Impale, the Cold Feet might trigger. It will not. Liches can't freeze, but they can die as Evos get that kill onto the Lich that they missed earlier on. I'm quite happy they could enforce it. I really like this pick. I really like running the Omnight mid, actually. I know they was trying to do Omnight versus Alk, but I think not rotating the Puck to the mid lane is a wise choice. You can still run the Lich with the Puck, so his lane is not that hard to really run here. Well, once you get a couple levels. The Puck still has the unfavorable Alk placement, but you are forcing Alk to go down into the top lane as opposed to the mid lane, which is beneficial to you anyway, because you want to force the Alk into a bad matchup where he doesn't get much experience and gets less levels of the Grievous Greed. And of course, part of the reason why I don't run Puck mid is because of the threat of Nyx Assassin. If Nyx comes to the mid lane and Puck is there, you're screwed. You can't really do anything against him. You can't evade his mana burn. Whereas the Omni can last against him much easier because of the lack of intelligence. You know, he's too dumb to get hit by the mana burn too much. Anyway, Tuhoy comes from behind. There's an Invis Rune. Impale will not hit as a spray. Also, I mean, it doesn't really do much against a Lich, as they have no way to stop him. Unfortunate second Impale that misses. Now Facehugger being chased down by BB. In the bottom lane, they get a kill, but BB also gets one in the mid lane with the last Purification. They got just a Battery Assault plus Anti-Mage following through. And notice this build, aggressive build in the lane with 2 points into Mana Break early and 1 point into Blink. A beautiful, beautiful Blink, by the way. I love that Immortal. I'm liking what we're seeing, actually. And yes, they do have a 1-win advantage, by the way. I should have mentioned this, but as in ProDotA Cup fashion, one win advantage for the guys at Lorem Ipsum because they come from the winners brackets. That's it, though. I really like this aggressive build by my bro. Usually, we don't see it as commonly. I mean, nowadays, Anti-Mage is a bit more versatile ever since they took away stats. But it's really good at taking away the Earthshaker's mana. Easiest way to actually punish that Enchant Totem, which now costs a considerable bigger amount of mana, so the Aftershock build is not as effective. Spamming that Enchant Totem is a bit harder. Notice his reliance on Mangoes, which usually you wouldn't need as an Earthshaker. You'd rather go for Clarities. And the fact that he's staying so far away. Granted, Anti-Mage can't really do much against him in terms of damage, but he can just, you know, harass him, force him to have no mana. Now, you can take your Mango if you want, Evil, but that's gonna be a waste of the Mango. That Anti-Mage can completely wreck you afterwards. And of course, yeah, you take away Anti-Mage's damage by not having any mana, but you can't really do anything against him. So my pro pretty much has a free lane where he can harass you as much as he wants. With just probably a 2-2-1 build, I want to say. That one level of Spell Shield, very useful. Now on the top lane, Kororo, just a bit of harassment. No big deal, however, TNT has been left alone. He does have a one level of ice armor. I want to call him Frost Armor every single time. I think that's Dota 1. Anyway, Avil, oh, in the bottom lane, Battery Assault. He has no mana. How is he going to fight this? He still has the Mango. Not going to eat it, though. He just knows he has to die. Lorem Ipsum will get a second kill against him. Slowtik pretty lucky on those Battery Assault hits. He was dead regardless. They can dive the tower with ease, as the Anti-Mage does have a poor man's shield and a decent amount of armor in the early game. And of course, taking away the mana from the Earthshaker makes his initiation much less of a threat. Especially considering the fact that the Earthshaker has a long cast point, a long cast animation for most things that he uses. Well, actually every single ability. Which means that the Mango is not as immediate as you would like, because you have to Mango and then use something. That's why the Earthshaker is not a big relier on the Mango. Now, yeah, that's because you can't do the surprise Mango unless you have the Enchant Totem up. So he's not particularly a good hero to use it, and the Anti-Mage might even be able to take away your mana before you can use anything. As one hit from the Mana Break actually takes away the Mango into Fissure combo. So you can only use Mango into Enchant Totem, which is absolutely crap. Even if going for the Aftershock build is only a 0.9 second stun, level 2, which is not that big a deal for an Anti-Mage. On top of that, we already see Mana Break level 3, so woo! This Anti-Mage is going strong! He wants to win this lane! The top lane, though, a bit of action. We are seeing Tuhoi, no Chilling Touch yet, so his harassment is subpar. In the mid lane, though, they find Facehugger, Cogs. The Clockwork came in really quickly, and now Facehugger is stuck here. Trying to destroy those Cogs. He's going to fight against BB. BB just goes in. Doesn't care about his lock and mana. One last Purification. Not going to do the trick. In fact, Reaper Sight, surprise. BB not going to go down. In fact, gets the kill against this Necrophos. And even just runs away. His high armor and poor man's shield ensuring he can stay alive. One last Purification to say Solotake, surprise. As if Alaiko loses half his health. Solotake might have gone a bit too far, though. Too confident in the Omnet's abilities. Got punished as a result. That Purification was good, but not good enough. And they do take a kill on the Necrophos for a Clockwork. That's fine overall in the trade. However, the Clockwork did not need to die there. BB will have a Phase Boots up now with that kill that he got using the Shrine. I mean, no reason to really use the Shrine, I suppose. Just a slightly more efficient way to come back to base. Weird thing they use the Clarity so early. But he just wants to go back to the lane as soon as possible to start harassing this Necrophos again. Okay, Purification hits Vlaiku. That's a good impale, but Vlaiku might just be going down. Seriously, every time Omna just comes in, it's like Purification. Everyone's dead. Another Purification coming in. Facehugger. It doesn't have enough sustain to deal with this. However, BB finally off mana. Has the Magic Stick for one last Purification. Is going to be a surprise attack. Uses the Magic Stick. Purification. Facehugger tries to heal back up with his own Magic Stick. And BB just chasing him down, hammering his face to the ground. Facehugger, surprise Death Bolt as the Fissure right from behind. It's gonna kill BB just in time. Now the Fireboy in the top lane. Battery Assault and stuck in the Cogs. Perfect Cogs to push him away from the creeps. And the Fireboy can't do anything against this Assault. Destroying one and going for a second one. Tuhoi gets a bit too close to the Clockwork. The Impale misses both of them. Tuhoi, how are you gonna survive this attack? In fact, he freezes Lilich solid. Solotake can't get that last onto Tuhoi. And the Ancient Apparition will survive this. As the Battery Assault just can't get close enough. It just ends his duration halfway through. Unfortunately, for Soltic. They still get a kill on the Alchemist, though. That's only 2 supports rotating to kill your Alch. That's fantastic. In terms of last hit, your anti-mage is already beating him. In terms of net worth, your anti-mage is also beating him because the Alchemist, you know, he doesn't have enough levels to actually have the Greevil's Greed high up enough. That's the big issue. The carry nowadays gets as many last hits as the mid laner, probably less because of the lack of creeps, but much less experience, meaning the Greevil's Greed. Not so effective. Now Vlaiku and this top lane, Battery Assault hitting him pretty hard. One last Spike Carpus, gonna try to use it, but Battery Assault still goes and destroys him. That's the beauty of Clockwork versus Nyx Assassin. You can stun the Clockwork all you want, but he's gonna still hit you with the Battery Assault. He doesn't need to be, I guess, active, not stunned, to attack you. Whew. And yeah, a lot of people betting for Evos and F10 kills. Maybe not with an Alchemist lineup. Honestly, they had the setup for the first 10 kills, but they're playing a bit too aggressively. Seemingly, I honestly do not understand much the Sanctioned Apparition build without the Chilling Touch. I find it a bit of a waste, to be honest. Oh, okay. I'm not running at the speed of light. Hello, Fireboy. Purification already. And Fireboy can't outrun this Omnite. He is Usain Bolt with a beard. Finding the first kill and going for a second one. Duhoi hit by the Ice Blast. Frost Blast, sorry, as BB gets the final purification, gets frozen solid, but is not concerned about it. In the bottom lane, Avil is being chased down, the Mana Void's available. Is he going to use it? Mypro just going in too deep, maybe, as he's forced to blink himself away. Avil would not have died with the Mana Void. 0.6 damage with that such a low mana pool. He should have been perfectly fine. Good. I mean, I guess don't waste it, no? The mini stun is mainly the reason why you might have want to use it to get an extra attack off, but it really wouldn't have done much of a difference. Good usage of the trees here. Seriously, the fact that Lich has the frost and then ice is just terrible, terrible thing. I still think of it as frost armor because of Warcraft 3, I believe. I don't know if they changed that, but TNT, careful, Chain Frost between him and Creeps. The Fireboy is going to suffer a lot of damage. Unlucky Chain Frost is still going to bounce one last time. The Fireboy survives it! Oh, this Alchemist, please buy a lottery ticket today, as that Chain Frost only hit him once, or actually twice, sorry. Despite it bouncing between the golems, the unluckiest heroes. There's the Echo Slam, actually catches Mypro just at the end. BB, though, still falling a villain, needs a purification. No need for it. Actually, yeah, last second. The Mana Void was even thought of commitment. No need for it in the end. Lich will die in exchange for an Earthshaker. Seems like a fair trade in favor, again, of Lorem Ipsum. 4k lead for them. Going a long, long way. And Mypro will be taking a Battle Fury at pretty good timing, honestly. I can imagine around 12 to 13 minutes in with Poor Man's Shield and Treads. Honestly, 13 minutes in, maybe if he's lucky. He's doing all really, really well for being an anti-mage in a kind of a aggressive way that he's playing him. Usually, anti-mage is max blink, partially because it does give you a lot of farming potential as well. So, Mana Break is more of an aggressive, I want to dominate the lane, and he's utilizing that build perfectly. Which I'd like to see, honestly. And now a smoke gank to the bottom lane. A Necrophos is far too forward. Facehugger stuck in the middle of 4 heroes. Now in the cog, silenced up. What can you do but die in the blades of Mypro? Now BB walks in just with Phase Boots. He's fighting against Doom with his Repel. He might be able to actually make a lot of damage. Avil has a TP in front of the Omnite. He has one last purification, but not in time. And BB does not want to go in the middle of that. That's a spray. Maybe he does, actually. Just a bit of harassment. In comes the Lich. Frost Blast plus the Chain Frost. Not enough mana for the Chain Frost. Gets a creep. Purification still available. Chain Frost hits the Fireboy. It's a complete waste, as Fireboy just tanks it and walks it off. BB, meanwhile, being chased by Avil. That fissure will hit, but BB still has the Purification. And, of course, Soltic nearby. He's forced to TP to his shrine just to heal back up. Meanwhile, Kororo follows Duhoi. Duhoi at death's door. Oh, actually not so close. Duhoi being hit by the Waning Rift and finished off. Now Fireboy wants to follow Kororo. They have no stun just yet. Kororo, though, has no mana. They eliminate his clarity immediately. Vlaiku just wanted to come in. A fissure stops him right in his tracks, and Kororo cannot blink himself away. He does not have the item yet, so that's going to be a dead puck in the end. Over creating a bit of space for Mypro to keep on farming in that bottom lane. So, seems like they're recovering a bit, Evos. Getting at least a valuable kill onto this puck, which was only for an Ancient Apparition. Hookshot entirely misses Duhoi. More than happy about this. Still no levels of Chilling Touch. Screw that ability, who needs it? It's not like it's super powerful at 150 damage, level 1. What's the point of getting any points in it? It's not like you have a hero that can take advantage of it with like a huge BAT or anything. Seriously, just skill 1 level of Chilling Touch is stressing me out. Just 1 level is so valuable just for her. I guess you're not even laning phase anymore, so it's a bit too late to skill it, but oh well. He's trying to stack Ancients. That stack will go through. Yeah, this is a really easy stack to make because of the weird hitbox, as long as you go up tail. In case you want to stack, by the way, anyone wants to stack like this way, don't ever do that. It's horrendous. It's pointless also, because you put yourself in a more difficult position. You think it's obvious, but it's these things that people don't explain to you and just kind of do it because pros do it as well. It's just important to know about hitboxes. Anyway, Lyco. See Soltic. Might want to go for the kill. There's the Impale. Finds these Clockwork. Facehugger joins in. Reaper's Sight. They have enough damage. Fissure as well. And that last Death Bolt will finish off this Clockwork. As MyPro goes to the mid lane. Finds Tuhoi. Oh, start hitting him. No armor on this guy. That's going to hurt a lot. Just one hit and look at Tuhoi melt. Okay, he eats a lot of tangos, tries to make a little home out of the trees. The Impale just last second, Cold Feet will trigger. And now Anti-Mage in a difficult position. TNT wanting to Frost Blast this poor Ancient Apparition. Doesn't find a home. He goes in. MyPro finally gets that last hit. And now the enemy team surrounded as Korora comes from behind. Avil sees him with a Dream Coil, stops any initiation. Avil is very low on mana. MyPro wants to ensure that this is the case as well. As Avil is out of mana now. The Mana Void plus the Chain Frost actually. Just to finish off this Earthshaker. 5k gold lead for Lorem Ipsum. Woo. This is not looking good for an Alchemist lineup. I'm going to switch to Net Worth. Sorry, I don't know why I was in last hits for so long. And we'll see that the Alch is a less farmed than an Omni Knight. Not laughing at the Alch, but this is a pretty good game for the Omni Knight. He's doing so well. Oh, shit. I didn't even realize this. Apologies. Mask of Madness Omni Knight. This is lovely. I love seeing these things. Now this is when you get a Mask of Madness in competitive. Did you know that Mask of Madness is a 100% win rate in competitive games with Omni? Like, this is one of those best stats that you love quoting because who the hell builds Mask of Madness on Omni? But yeah, it's working out. I mean, he hits really hard, by the way. People forget that the level 20 talent of 100 damage is ridiculous. It's better than Venno's talent, you know. It's actually a really, really good thing to go for. He's going for Desolator. Yes! Carry Omni. Who needs an Anti-Mage? This Anti-Mage should go for supporting items. I want Greaves on MyPro and Desolator, Sanjay and Yasha on Omni Knight. Amazing. As some people are pointing out, yep, Lorem Ipsum does have a better lineup in late, and a lot of people, you know, Alchemist versus Anti-Mage is actually pretty even because of how naturally Alchemist counters the Anti-Mage. However, Omni Knight is much, much stronger than the enemy mid laner, or the Necrophos in general. Finding Vlaiku, Impale, hitting the Omni Knight, but not the Clockwork. Vlaiku will still die, Clockwork just following him through with the Battery Assault. As Evos starts to push a tower in the bottom lane, I don't know if this is the wisest of choices. They will find the Puck, who walks in. Hello, Ancient Apparition, Nixon. Now the Dream Coil also hitting him. Tuhoi. Target of aggression. Puck really wants to murder this guy, but can't find the damage. In fact, in the bottom lane, they find the Alchemist instead. Ice Blast is what I was going to talk about. The Fireboy. It might survive this, actually. Ice Blast hits Soldic. No, the Echo Slam. He might get a counter kill onto this Omni Knight. At least getting that important counter kill. Trying to save Soldic. He has the Urn. Outrunning the Death Pulse. And it's not going to finish him off as the Urn heals him back enough. Even going to the Shrine. Fast Clockwork saves his life. However, they lose an Omni Knight for an Alchemist. I guess that's fair, considering how the Alchemist should not be dying there. And this is what we were talking about earlier, you know. The fact that they find an Alchemist quite easy to kill him, whereas the Anti-Mage might not suffer from the same problem. That's why you don't want to leave the Alchemist alone as often, and this is exactly what I was mentioning, and why the lineup is slightly better for Lorem Ipsum in that regard. Now, TNT is being seen by Vlaiku. I don't know if he's aiming for initiation. No initiation. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. No need to initiate. What's the point? Yeah, yeah, sorry about the net worth, but yeah, I'll get lower net worth than Omni and now Anti-Mage as well. That's expected for the Anti-Mage if you are winning, but then the Omni, that's surprising. Puck is also doing pretty well considering he's almost at the same net worth, only 1600 away from the Necrophos. Alchemist gets the slight lead against Omni, but again, no big deal. It's not really the fact that the Anti-Mage is beating him by so much, it's the fact that it's an Alchemist, minute 17, and you only have an armlet. You're very far on your radiance. Usually you can get, I mean, you get the travel boots at least, but you want to go for radiance a bit earlier, if possible, right? Travel boots is clearly a second thought, an afterthought, saying, okay, I can't just beat these guys without the movement. The travel boots is very useful because of the reduction of cooldown on your TP scroll. Because let's not forget, the TP scroll is on 80 seconds. I mean, most people know this, but Anyway, 80 seconds versus 45 seconds boots of travel is pretty useful if you want to help your team. If you're one of the heroes that is needed in team fights, but you also need to farm, travel boots is quite fantastic. That's why heroes like, you know, PL play it. Anyway, Laiku. Yep, you can't fight against the Repel Mask of Madness. Can't TP away in time. BB just hammering down the bug, exterminating him just in time. It is amazing. the Mask of Madness, so you repel yourself and then you Mask of Madness. One. Now, the Ahmed almost finishing up that Desolator as well. Let's see if he hits a bit harder against that. That's particularly good against an Alchemist. Honestly, his build is not bad against an Alchemist at all, because burst damage, you know, minus armor as well. Alright, Smoke Gang. Let's see if they can get a single kill against this Clockwork. Fissure to start off. Tuhoi joining in, and the 4-staff. Plus an Echo Slam committed just to kill a Clockwork. Reaper side as well. All the ultimates murder this Clockwork. Korora comes in, just melts the Ancient Apparition. Now finds the Earthshaker, wants to kill him as well. Necrophos will TP away in time. Vlaiku joins in, and Puck might not be able to get this kill. Avil still. The Chain Frost actually committed to that. No need for it, but anyway, they get that kill. Vlaiku trying to TP away. Do they have a way to stop the TP? No, they don't. So he's going to be successful. Ends up being a 2-for-1. So it's still beneficial to Lorem Ipsum, despite the Smoke Gank being used. A lot of time wasted there for Evos, but they do give a little space to the Alchemist, supposedly, considering you did force a rotation from the Puck. Yeah, not that much space given to the Alchemist. He is at least beating the Omnite now, so, you know, there's that to his name. And he's going to get a Radiance relatively soon. Oh, okay, Fireboy. That was the mistake. Not the unstable concoction you wanted. You weren't expecting Omnite to just peek his head through, like, hey, I have Repel. I don't care about your unstable concoction. Unstable this bitch. Just keep hitting him. TNT, careful. Ice Blast. Will it hit? Yes, it will. TNT. Frozen, solid, and destroyed. Not frozen solid. Frozen to death, I suppose. Which is ironic for a Lich, because he's literally a walking skeleton encased in ice. But hey, Ice Blast hurts. Dota logic. So, that's why they say ice types are the worst defensive type. Ooh, Pokemon jokes. Okay. BB will be taking a couple of the Ancient stacks that they think they're prepared for the Alchemist, because this Omnite is God, as we've determined. He literally, I mean, it's Hand of God, you know, as the Guardian Angel, Purification. But... Hand of God is Chance ability, sorry. He has the Guardian Angel because he's a mortal that apparently has transcended the mortals into a semi-god or demigod form, as he hits really hard with his godly hammer, and still has all the healing from above. Questionable Mask of Madness concerning the Purification build. Hey, look at that Desolator go! Wow, he decimates creeps. Now, we see Avil. He's confused his base with the enemy team one. You're dire, bro. Not radiant. No. He's trying to find a way to escape. Can't, and the man avoided stop the TP. Avil went way too far. Got punished for as the enemy team started chasing him down. And of course, his untimely demise. Ice Blast. Not gonna find anyone. But they do know TNT's around, as they just spotted him. So he also knows that something is around here. They know there's a sentry as well, so you have to deward the sentry. The enemy is not too afraid. Uses the Quelling Blade or the Battle Fury to deward it. Might find someone. Everyone TPs. Good stuff. I mean, I'm liking what Evos is doing. Even though this seems like clowny and dumb, it's actually a very clever play. So they're trying to open up the map because they know that the safest resources, the safe farm, can only be used by the Alchemist. But the rest of his team needs a bit of farm. And they don't need to create too much space for an Alchemist. He's only using safe resources because... well, they're not really chasing him down. They have defensive vision enough with these kind of wards. I mean, they only have one with defensive vision, but hey. Okay, that's a mistake by the Alchemist, for example. The Fireboy being destroyed here. There's no way he can make it out of here alive. Goodbye. Now, so they're trying to use defensive vision and very safe farm to try to get the Alchemist up in terms of farm. That's a good idea. While the rest of Evos tries to get the harder farm, so they create space by just, you know, pulling ahead by creating unfavorable situations for Lorem Ipsum. or they're forced to go very back into their base, try to, you know, get kills like they did with a Veal earlier, where they killed them like right over here. That's not ideal for you. Now in the mid lane, they even get a gank onto the Omnight. That might be a kill actually, with all these stuns and the Rocket Flare coming a bit too late, actually not doing anything. Omnight goes down to a Veal's damage. That's fantastic for Evos, recovering nicely. And sadly, the Alchemist is dead for this time, but they are picking off whoever they see alone. Duhoi. This time you're creating space for absolutely no one, so all this praise I'm giving you, pointless. What are you doing? Do not cold feet the creep! Oh no, he TP'd. That was so cocky. I can't believe he's getting out! Kuroro does not see this! He didn't see the creeps move in time, he didn't have the vision, and of course, that means the Ancient Apparition could get out alive. That was a cocky cold feet. Like, at that last second, it's like, sure! Why not? Maybe I get the kill. That's crazy. Well, they're recovering slightly, even though it doesn't seem like it. It does seem like it's, it is dire for Evos, but they are recovering decently. They're playing exactly as you're supposed to play from behind. The only issue is they don't really have the best lineup to play from behind with an Alchemist. And, I mean, Alchemist Necrophos is really not meant to be played from behind. However, like I said earlier, in the late game, you're okay. You can match the Anti-Mage to some degree, because the terrible stat gain that Alchemist has is kind of matched by Anti-Mage's own terrible stat gain. Well, questionable stat gain, he's not the best. But, and you do have the Necrophos also to stop him, which is a fantastic hero in the super late game, where he kind of skills in a weird way, where his ultimate still becomes really relevant. That's why he's going for the Aghanims as well, as the ultimate is just always relevant in the game. Even despite Anti-Mage's magical immunity, you can stop the Omnic with it, which is fantastic. And probably your goal, as the Omnic can always repel whoever's in the Reaper Scythe. There's certainly a chance for Evos to win. They also have a much better team fight in the form of an Earthshaker as opposed to the Puck Stream Coil. Later on, he really starts to fall off in that regard. And also the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast, Nyx Assassin in general, then Bale. They can definitely come back into this. However, it is hard. They are fighting a uphill battle. Now, they take down a tower in the bottom lane. Okay. That's cool. That's a bit of gold going Lorem Ipsum's way. They're trying to take all the tier 2s. It's important because they're going to try to take away all of the Alchemist safe farm. And by taking away all of his vision. So either you go for constantly defensive wards. Oh, careful. Clockwork out of Atos. He's been rooted down. The Impale also hits. Reaper Scythe and Clockwork. No! Repel saves him last second. Guardian Angel comes in. BB joins in the fray. And the Dream Coil hits 3. They destroy a Vil first. This Mask of Madness Summon is out of this world. Almost goes off Lyku. Last second Spike Corpus, but the Necrophos has been left for dead. As BB, I mean, he gets a kill. They did kill the Necrophos in that engagement as well. So they do, I mean, sorry, the Nyx Assassin survives. And the Alchemist does as well, as he went down to the bottom lane, tried to split push, but this tower's gonna go down. Omnic hits a really hard Desolator. Alchemist now joins in. He does the Unstable Concoction. Careful, don't stun yourself. Uses on Mypro. Good evasion with a Manta style. BB losing a lot of health. Ice Blast might actually hit him. BB, careful! Has to purify himself. The Ice Blast will miss. The purification last second. Tuhoi just a bit off with an Ice Blast. It almost seems like it hit him, but could not catch the fastest hero alive. Sonic the Omni Knight. They do defend it again successfully, even though they lose a lot of heroes. Necrophos now seeing the issue with this guy against an anti-mage is lack of movement in general. Movement speed and just mobility. Going for the 4-staff, and of course going for the 6 all stats for more survivability as opposed to the movement speed. Yes, it's the right choice to make, but of course it's a difficult one considering you have no way to really outrun this anti-mage or try to kite him. That's very unfortunate. You can't play with the vision as either, because the enemy team has a lot of ways to really give you vision with the Illusory Orb, and the Jaunting Puck, of course. The Clockwork's Rocket Flare. But juking is not an option either. Okay. And his bottom lane, we see Nyx Assassin being hit by... what was it? Waning Rift and Dream Coil? At least Evos might get too high to survive this. A lot of TPs for only 2 supports, honestly. To see that at least anti-mage... I mean, the pause right as he disconnected. That was immediate. Good stuff. Seeing good coding by the Dota devs. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. So, well, in this pause, I mean, I get a second, so I'm able to change quickly. Let's see. And okay. Evos doing? Sorry about this. Is doing stream maintenance. Oh, they're gonna see the next assassin go down here quickly with a repel. Not really doing much. Okay, that the right banner should be up. Okay, just so you guys can see the right code in the banners. I apologize for that. Anyway. We see Evos is starting to lose the strategy they were going for. I don't know if that was actually their strategy. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit, to be honest, but I like giving pros credit, let's be honest. Anyway, the point is, Evos before was trying to create space because they did have a lot of safe farm because these towers allow them to do so, and they also had a lot of defensive vision, so it does seem like that was their plan to begin with. However, now that they have lost all their outer towers, offensive vision is much more possible for the enemy team. They also have much more availability towards Roshan, as is much later in the game. You can't do that strategy anymore. You have to fight and create space somehow for your Alk, Tuhoy. Okay, how are you getting away? Yeah. There's not even a TP on you. You couldn't have TP'd in time anyway, so at least it's good that you didn't waste a TP cooldown, just in a hope that you could maybe get away, but they don't really have many options. Maybe split pushing with the Fireboy now and trying to get ganked somehow, but most of the team is useless. They're really just relying on Fireboy to try to do a bit of split pushing and win that way. He also needs his Octocore at some point because of the fact that he needs it pretty soon because of the fact that you want to reduce the Boots of Travel cooldown so you can actually use it to split push a bit more efficiently, or MyPro just start taking your towers. Now, careful Facehugger because you're maybe a bit too close for MyPro. I mean, luckily he doesn't have Abyssal yet. He's actually going for Lincoln's first. There's a repel. Joins in. He wants to go in for reveal. Wow, one hit and look at Avil melt. MyPro just chasing him to the ends of hell. Finds Tuhoy instead. Wants to take the Ice Cream down. Dispels the Rod of Atos, but they stun him down. They impale as well. Glimmer Cape, Dream Coil into 3, and Avil still alive. So is MyPro finally destroyed by that Echo Slam, but the Aegis will survive. And that is the Alchemist also going down. BB chasing down the rest of the team. Facehugger is going to be hugged with a hammer as BB can't finish him off entirely with the Ghost Shot. The Impale completely misses BB. Just zoning out the enemy team. The Unstable Concoction. Not successful there, as it stuns the Alchemist himself. The Chemical Rage also used there a bit too early, maybe. However, they do kill BB, immediately taking the dominating streak, and they want to keep defending this. The Fireboy with a second Unstable Concoction. That's going to trigger right to his face. The Fireboy is forced to go back. As Evos can't get any more counter kills, they just lose Rax in the mid lane in exchange for an Omnite. Yes, that seems pretty valuable considering you got a 1-for-0 trade, but that's a Rax that you lost, and your anti-mage is still alive. Omnite is not your main carry anyway, as Lorem Ipsum has understood this before. It's really just the anti-mage. And once the anti-mage goes for Lincoln's, good luck trying to defend this. So Fireboy, at least trying to find some farm, even though it's in the enemy jungle. You're trying to increase the range of farming you can do that. I mean, he's not staying too far off the anti-mage. And Alk is one of those heroes that, yes, you should be above the anti-mage in terms of farm, but if you're not so much above him, it's okay. Anti-mage is also a pretty big farmer in that regard. And again, like I said multiple times, you really aren't that bad against him. Your armor does pretty well against MyPro in general. You can stun him for a long enough time to destroy him. Your playstyle is similar to an Ursa's. How Ursa, even though anti-mage may have a lot of farm, Ursa can still beat him later in the game. That's the idea. Until he gets hard, of course. Once MyPro gets hard, something of the sort starts being a glass cannon, it's really going to be hard to kill him. Now, I don't know what happened in the bottom lane. They just find Tuhoy and destroy him, like, every single time. MyPro proceeds to go against these towers. Monta's Tower to dispel the root. Facehugger wants to join in. This is a bit dangerous. Reaper Scythe. Oof. That was a bit late. Now, I don't know if they could have killed him anyway, but they just wanted to stun him out, I think, for a long enough time. Good blink right last second. Blink is at a lower cast point than the Reaper Scythe, so intelligent usage there. That said, talk about high ground defense. Let's talk about that a bit for Evos. They do have a really good high ground defense with the Ice Blast. The Fissure in general is actually one of those most underrated spells. Nyx Assassin in general is a pretty good high ground defender because of his full of abilities. The Necrophos is okay, and of course the Alchemist in general is a great high ground defense with the Radiance, making it really hard to actually go up to the high ground. However, against an anti-mage and Nomad, especially with a Repel, it's not that easy. Repel actually gives you a lot of high ground push potential, and AM could just spam his illusions, and they're pretty powerful going up to the high ground, especially once you get the 25 agility bonus. The Fireboy has also decided to go for a bit of a split pushing build, which I think is appropriate. Not really the build, I mean, like, the way he's playing is definitely more of a split pusher, and is very appropriate considering how you should be playing, really, considering how much the enemy team is outclassing you. Another kill. At this point, I'm not even casting the kills for Tuhoi, because Tuhoi has decided that, first of all, I mean, at this point, Chilling Touch is crap, so I understand this. But besides that, he's just going around the map being killed all the time, and that's losing Ice Blast constantly. That's not good. You should really start staying back at this point. Ice Blast is so valuable. Repel, last second, saves my pro from the Impale. He can't get stunned anymore, goes into the tower. Look at that anti-mage hit. Those illusions are actually going to hit pretty hard, even go into Facehugger. They have to use an Unstable Concoction onto them, just to stop them from being effective. Ooh. That's brutal. Well, my pro continues to attack these towers, as the Repel helps him out a lot. What's the Unstable Concoction for? Did you miscalculate? Nope, it's for the Lich, apparently. Rod of Atos, and they find Vlaiko immediately. Spike Carpus last second. BKB saves him from the stun, and Vlaiko just trying to run away. Monovoid to finish him off. Also kills the Ancient Apparition, almost as an afterthought. Avil caught in the crossfires and destroyed as well. Now they're gonna go for Facehugger. He's out of mana. Nothing can save this man. The Basher too powerful. It's gonna be a team wipe in favor of Lorem Ipsum. First game goes for the Thai team. A destruction of the Indonesian. Someone call an ambulance. Evos is bleeding all over the floor. And Lorem Ipsum will take game number 1 in a quick fashion. Well, not so quick, 32 minutes in, but a very dominant fashion. We'll be going up to game number 2 against Evos very, very soon. Let's see if they can come back and try to run a strategy that they're more comfortable with, an Alchemist strategy, or just in general, maybe try some ace up their sleeve to try to win this final, as Lorem Ipsum has just trashed their team by playing really, really well. Evos, don't tilt. Try to come back. Sure that we at least get a third game for this final. That said, guys, my name has been DSwordfish. Hope you've enjoyed the cast. If you did, feel free to follow me on Twitter, as there you also see a link to a YouTube channel where the VODs will be.